Here's a promise that then candidate Donald Trump made in August of 2016.
Oh, and by the way, they said my wife Melania might have come in illegally. Can you believe that one? No. They said, headlines, maybe she came in illegally, maybe. Let me tell you one thing. She has got it so documented, so she's going to have a little news conference over the next couple of weeks. That's good. That's good. I love it. I love it. They said, Melania Trump may have come into our country illegally, and how would that be for Donald Trump to...
She's going to have a little news conference over the next couple of weeks. That was 2 years and 11 days ago. Donald Trump knew that his campaign supporters harbored many hatreds. Some of them hated taxes. Some of them hated Obamacare, or thought they did. Some of them, like David Duke, hated all people who are not white. But the one hatred that all Trump supporters seemed to share enthusiastically was hatred of illegal immigration, hatred of the people who, as Donald Trump would put it, come into our country illegally. And so, when credible reports emerged of Melania Trump possibly working illegally in this country when she first arrived on a tourist visa, Donald Trump told his fans not to worry. She has got it so documented, he said. She's going to have a little news conference over the next couple of weeks. And then Melania Trump remained absolutely silent about her immigration history and her immigration documents. The next couple of weeks passed and she didn't say a word about her immigration history. But finally today, 2 years and 11 days after Donald Trump made that promise, Melania Trump finally stepped up to a microphone and said this.
Good morning. It is great to be here with all of you today. I'm honored to open this important summit on cyberbullying prevention, and want to start by thanking each of you for your commitment to the topic.
And so once again, the only First Lady in history who, in Donald Trump's words, as he put it 2 years ago, quote, may have come into our country illegally, still has not had that little news conference that Donald Trump promised where she would reveal all of the details of her immigration history and put out her immigration documents, show them to us, prove she did not come here illegally or ever work here illegally, ever. And instead, today, she spoke for 4 whole minutes on cyberbullying prevention. She read words on the teleprompter that were written for her by her staff, and so she never mentioned the biggest cyber bully in the world. She never offered her invaluable perspective on how you bring up a 12-year-old boy in an American household with a 72-year-old father who is not just a cyber bully, but is the biggest cyber bully in history. No president in our lifetime has been better at publicly ignoring the First Lady than Donald Trump. He won that title on the first day of his presidency by forgetting about his wife as soon as he arrived at the White House. And he did it again today by not just completely ignoring that his wife held a public event today, something she almost never does, but then by publicly violating the principles that his wife was talking about today by spending so much of his day after her speech trying to cyberbully everyone, from a former CIA director to the current special prosecutor to thousands of people working in the Justice Department. And so today, the First Lady read a very short statement about cyberbullying, and the president spent his day cyberbullying. And neither one of them did a thing for the 565 children still in President Trump's custody after being ripped out of their parents' arms at the southern border. Neither one of them have done a thing for those children, not one thing. They haven't helped reunite a single child with a single parent.
We share one goal: to pave a smooth way forward for our children.
How can she say that? How can she say those words a smooth way forward for our children. She supported the presidential campaign of the man who was already the world's biggest cyber bully. She supports the presidency that has ripped thousands of children from their parents' arms at the southern border. Thousands. She supports the president who ripped those families apart because he said they came here illegally. And she has never proven beyond a reasonable doubt that she first came to this country legally and worked in this country legally when she began working here. She has never proved that. There won't be a smooth way forward for the 565 children still in Trump custody because Melania Trump's husband has deported 366 parents of those children. Melania Trump's husband has completely lost track of 26 of those parents and has no idea how to reunite those parents. Melania Trump's husband forced 154 parents to sign away their rights to be reunited with their children when those parents did not know what they were signing.
We share one goal: to pave a smooth way forward for our children.
Melania Trump has done nothing for our children. Nothing. And Donald Trump has done far too much to our children.
In today's global society, social media is an inevitable part of our children's daily lives. It can be used in many positive ways, but can also be destructive and harmful when used incorrectly.
And Jennifer Rubin is back with us. And Jennifer, we don't know what was written on the back of the First Lady's coat when she was saying that today, but we do know she wore the garment saying, "I don't care," when she went to the southern border. She seems to have proven that since her return. Here she is worried about cyberbullying and not expressing one word of concern about the children who are in Trump custody.
Correct. And of course, as you said earlier, not paying one whit of attention to the worst cyber bullier of them all, who sets an appalling example for all of us. You know, maybe she should go talk to Twitter and ask them to take bullies off their platform. That would be kind of helpful, and perhaps that would take care of the Trump problem. I think the problem I have with Melania is being a first lady is a great opportunity to do good. It is to do good for others. And she has done virtually nothing. This be great or be better kind of platform. There was one little White House event in the Rose Garden, and she comes and gives this ridiculous little 4-minute speech. She's not doing anything for America. You look at all the first ladies that preceded her, whether it was Barbara Bush, whether it was Laura Bush on literacy, whether it was the Obamas, and specifically their work with veterans and their families. Every first lady has championed causes. Every first lady has done good. What has she done? Virtually nothing. And they say, oh, she's a private person. You know what? She now has an obligation to do good. When you get to that position, I don't think you have a right to just stay home and have silly little press conferences like this. I think it's time for her to get active, for her to show some public-mindedness. Although I will say that she did decide to take her first public trip, and maybe this is a little bit of trolling, Lawrence. She decided to go to Africa, which her husband once described as a bunch of blank, 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 whole countries. So perhaps that's a little needling on her part. But if she comes up with something that is remotely in the realm of what, for example, President Bush did with respect to AIDS, I would be stunned. These people are about empty gestures. They're about themselves. They're fundamentally selfish people.
Yeah, in the announcement of the trip, it was an announcement of a trip to a continent. I'm not sure that the First Lady's office knows that Africa is not a country. When these trips are announced by previous White Houses, they announce countries. They don't say it's a trip to Europe. They don't say it's a trip to Asia or South America. They announce specific countries. I'm not sure that this First Lady's office knows any countries that they could name in Africa. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.